Hello everybody, and surprise video. Yeah, we're here again, twice in one day. Two reasons for this. The first is that it's a bit of a guilt thing. I feel a bit like I've kind of not done enough by kind of leaving you with nothing over the weekend. I know most of you probably don't really mind that much and appreciate that I have a life to live as well. But, there's a little bit of guilt there, so I thought I'd try and squeeze in another one. Second reason is that I wanted to try something with the GT4 Fixed series, particularly with this track combination that I might not have the chance to try in the future. So essentially what it is that I've done is I've following on from my experience with trying to make the car really oversteery in the Falken Tyre Sports Car Challenge that I did before the weekend. I thought I'd try the same thing with this car. Now, granted, it's a fixed setup series, but in all fixed setup series, you can still adjust the brake balance, which is exactly what I've done here. Now the default fixed setup brake balance for the BMW M4 GT4 is 62%. So I've brought that back by I want to say 6%. So now we're sitting on about 56, which is it feels. Now, I'm not going to say massively unstable. It feels a bit drifty and a bit sort of floaty going into the corners, which is kind of what I want for this track because there's so many changes of direction, and you really need the car to point where you want it to go, sooner rather than later, rather than being very lazy and having to really sort of fight it into the corners. I have managed to do a good sort of 20 minutes, half an hour practice with the brake balance set up the way it is. And I'm quite comfortable with how the car feels. It is going to be scary on the first lap because with the car being absolutely freezing and the tyres being cold and the brakes being cold, that is going to make things a little bit dicey, particularly if we're in a close fight with other cars, to sort of stay safe and stable and predictable, particularly with such an unstable and drifty car. Now, I have tried to mitigate that somewhat by spending the last... I'd recommend everyone does this, by the way, and I've spent the last sort of 5 minutes or so resetting the car to the pits, doing an outlap, resetting to the car to the pits, and just rinsing and repeating that. I just do a whole outlap, pull off to the side of the road, reset the car, do an outlap again for 5 minutes. And what I was hoping to do with that is kind of get an idea of what the car feels like when the tyres and brakes are cold. So I really get used to that feeling and don't just get used to the idea of the car being at optimal temperature, which it would have been after a good sort of solid 15-20 minutes of just doing laps around the track, just to get used to the brake balance. So I'm not going to say that I am 100% confident with how the car feels. There may still be mistakes. The car feels very... it has a very good tendency to slide, particularly in the mid part of this corner. If I'm not careful on the brakes as I'm going through here, the rear end does step out, and it can be a bit difficult to catch. But hopefully that won't be a problem. Hopefully the practice that I've done with the cold car and resetting each time will be enough to mitigate that. And like I say, that's something I recommend everyone does before every race. Just spend the last sort of 5 minutes or so of practice doing an outlap, resetting to the pits and doing another outlap, just to get the idea of how those cold tyres feel. So it looks like we're about to go green any moment now, and off we go.
Go. Okay, Dan, 15 minutes left. That's 15 minutes.
Left side. Clear left.
Now, this is going to be the really dangerous part of the track as we approach turn 3, particularly on these really cold tyres and this unstable rear. And given as well that I can't really go all the way over to the left hand side because of this car in my mirror.
Perfect start, mate. This is great.
Okay, we've kind of gotten away with it. Just got to watch out for this orange car on the left-hand side, trying to get back onto the racing line. Got to be very aware of... I mean, he's going to be desperate to get back onto the line and stop me coming through.
Left side, clear left. On your left, clear left.
Okay, cool. Now this is another pinch point for the opening lap or two. This hairpin, if I don't get the braking right here, I am going to go facing the wrong direction. And it looks like having the cars in front of me has kind of saved me a little bit, prevented me from going too deep into the corner, and kept me nice and safe. Car still feels... Oh god, felt a little bit of oversteer coming out of the corner there. And I think that's just a symptom of the fact that the tyres just aren't really up to temperature yet and aren't properly gripping as I'm sort of putting the power down and squatting that car into the tarmac. So hopefully over the next lap or two,
B6.
We'll start to get a little bit more traction, particularly on the exit of some of these corners, and we'll be able to start really fighting for better positions. Again, this is going to be another danger zone. Still don't feel as though the car's quite up to temperature yet. You can hear with the brakes squealing as I'm on them that it's still not quite happy. I need to get past this guy sooner rather than later, because if he holds me up for much longer, I'm going to find it really difficult to fend off the guy behind me. And of course, with it being in the Porsche, you know, these, to my knowledge at least, the Porsches have a really good tendency to be able to take the corners really well. Oh god. They really suit these more twisty tracks. So I'm going to have to work a little bit harder in my little BMW that's heavy, lackadaisical. Lackadaisical? It's heavy, it's lethargic. I'm really going to have to put some work in. So we can't hear the brakes squealing anymore. I think the brakes are feeling a lot happier. I'm a lot more confident going into that turn now. Now it's just up to me to keep the concentration on. Let's see if we can't do something.
That was a 126.88. Sector 3 is 0.41 off the pace. Minutes to go. That's 10 minutes left.
So with about a third of the race done, I'm now, looking at the car, looking at the guy in front.
Okay, Dan, stay close. Wait for him to make a mistake.
And I am quite content that this guy is not carrying anywhere near as much speed as I am. through the S's in the first sort of sector or so. But equally as frustrating, that's not really a good part in the track to go for an overtake unless he makes an error that really unsettles him. I mean, generally speaking, I feel like turn 1 here and maybe turn 3 are sort of the overtaking opportunities.
126.93.
And I feel as though he's kind of got a bit of an advantage in the latter part of the track, which is just keeping him far enough in front that I can't really realistically make any attempt at a move at the moment. You know, if I'm going to go down the inside here, I really need to be alongside long before the braking zone. Establish that presence, make sure he knows I'm there. And if he's going to get really hard on the brakes here. He's got incredible drive out of that corner.
Edwards is now in the lead, P6.
And the chap behind me is starting to look pretty big in that left-hand door mirror. I'm not really looking at him, but it's difficult to miss in the peripheral vision. I'm just hoping as well that that's not going to unsettle me and cause any massive dramas. Oh, that was very... yeah, there it is.
Fuel looks good. You'll need to slow down to give back the time gained.
Let's get off the racing line and come off the gas.
On your left.
That is a huge shame.
Clear left.
But I'm confident that I've got the pace to take the position back. I mean, it's an inherent danger of having such a pointy and oversteery car is that it does make those slowdowns a little bit more likely, especially if you get your braking wrong and you turn in points just a little bit too early. But it is not the end of the world, not by a long stretch. I got a bit of a slide coming out of the corner there. Not quite got the traction and the drive that I was hoping for. I was probably a little bit too early to go full gas.
Come on, we need to be in front of this guy. 7th position.
Yeah, he's taken way too much of the exit curb there. It's not helped me at all because I'm not going to get alongside. But maybe, just maybe, there's something that can happen here. Then again, maybe not.
Okay, Dan, 5 minutes to go, 5 minutes left. This is okay. Keep those exit speeds up.
I don't think this is going to be enough either. I'm nowhere near close enough to dive up the inside. Might show him a noise, see what he does.
127.00.
See if he reacts to it. You could hear the TC kicking in there. It was a terrible exit. I think maybe I'm just starting to overdrive this. Just trying a little bit too hard because I know the pace is there. And I'm just looking for gaps at the moment that aren't really there. No, that's not a gap.
That lap was a 127.37. Just 2 minutes left, 2 minutes to go.
So it's likely going to be this lap now, and one more, and that will be the race, I think.
That's the fastest lap. That last lap was a 126.82.
I'm really expecting number 13 here to do something quite daft into one of these corners and probably kill both himself and the orange guy in front of him. Yeah, look at this dive. Ooh. To be fair, that wasn't bad. Like, he's just trying to put the guy off. If you get that wrong, that's going to end in a massive disaster. Yeah, this is it. This is the lap. If 13 gets a sniff of a gap, he's going to go for it down into turn 3, without a doubt.
One more lap to go. You've just done a 127.50.
He's really sort of ramping up that aggression. I don't think he's close enough to really do any damage, though. It's up to... Oh, and orange has gone wide. It's a shame we're not close enough to really take advantage. Ooh, that was close to being a slowdown, I think. Lucky I got away with that. Yeah, more TC.
2 minutes to go, 2 minutes.
Well, that's
Yellow
it.
flag.
That was
P7, there we go, it's over. Bring it back round.
absolutely fantastic fun. Really enjoyed that race. I think in hindsight, I'm a little bit disappointed in myself really for not being able to really create a proper opportunity around the guy in the orange car, and even more disappointed in myself that I kind of threw away P6 by picking up a silly sort of slowdown penalty. That is a bit of a heartbreaker, but at the end of the day, I can't really complain. It's all entirely my own fault, and well, what are you going to do, really? Right, let's go have a look at the silliness. Let's go have a look at what else was I thinking I wanted to have a look at? I think it was the early part of the race, because I'm thinking now maybe I could have been a little bit more aggressive about trying to take advantage of orange going wide on lap 1. But as I say, let's go to the first incident. That's very loud. I hope you guys can still hear me over that. Oh my god, that's absolute carnage. Ooh. What's happened there? Oh, he's just lost the rear and gone round. That's oh yeah, again, that's so easy to do. So I think actually here, while we've got the opportunity, we'll rewind it a little bit, because this is where orange had to go wide to avoid here. So if we switch perspective back to me, I think it was that car. Cool. So we'll play this nice and slow. Looking back on it, I probably could have been a little bit more forceful here. Orange is really struggling to sort of get back on the optimum line, and I think if I'd had a little bit more confidence, I might have been able to take a bit more advantage of this. As it is, you can see on the telemetry here, I was definitely not sort of giving it 100% gas through this. I was really sort of trying to give orange the opportunity to get back into it without sort of causing a massive accident. In hindsight, I probably could have been a little bit more assertive and tried to take the space that he'd left. It could have really ended badly. I think, on the whole, I think I made the right decision, but I could have been a bit more forceful. Interested to hear what you guys think. So moving on to the next incident, turn 1 again on turn 3 rather on lap 2, and that just demonstrates how easy it is to get this corner wrong. If you get the braking wrong. That's another heartbreaker, really. And just getting on the grass to get out of the way. Number 22 is going to blink, apparently. And number 7 is going to blink. Number 9 here. Oh, I mean, I'm not sure what's going on here. He probably wasn't going to make it around the outside. Yeah. I mean, luckily it didn't amount to anything, but that's what it is. And again, that's just someone getting the braking wrong. Not a massive deal at the end of the day. Is this going to be a blink, do you think? Yeah. What's number 8 got for us? Ooh, just gets taken out from behind. Yeah, someone really wasn't paying attention there, were they? Blink. Okay. And is that it? Or are we in another... Yeah, I think that might be it. Yeah. Cool. So we've actually looked at that first part of the race, so we don't need to go back and look at it again. Yeah, as I say, on the whole, pretty happy. But for now, let's go have a look at the results. So just stay with me. I won't be very long at all. Okay, so it was a bit longer than I intended that to be. So of 5 splits, this was the top split with a strength of field of about 2100. So we managed, despite the fact we picked up an off track, and as well I picked up a loss of control in the practice session when I just wanted one more chance to get used to those cold tires and cold brakes. Unfortunately, that was actually ended up undoing me a little bit, but never mind. Despite all that, we've still managed to gain some safety ratings, so at the end of the day, I am still quite happy with that. And then we've also bumped up the iRating a bit as well, so that's always good to see. We're getting close to the 2300. That's going to be lovely if we can keep going on that upward trend. And I think, on reflection, the key difference that was made there was just the adjustment of the brake bias, just to make the car that little bit more oversteery, just to get it pointed into the corner a little bit more aggressively. Yeah, I would recommend maybe playing with your brake bias a little bit, particularly for the fixed series cars, just because in my limited experience, and please remember I'm not a setup guru at all, I feel like the fixed setups are very safe and understeery, just to sort of make the cars predictable and easy to drive. If you can handle the cars being a little bit unstable, a little bit sort of floaty and drifty while they're on the brakes, I would certainly recommend dialing that brake bias back by about sort of maybe 6 to 8 percentage points. Do some practice with it. If it's just too floaty, too oversteery, if you're spinning on the brakes an awful lot, just dial that brake balance forward by a percentage point at a time until you get to a point where you are confident enough that you're not going to bin the car on the brakes. And it's absolutely something you can adjust during the race as well. For Rudskogen particularly, it might have been more sensible of me to adjust my brake balance forward as we were going into just by a percentage point or so, just as we're going into turn 3, just to really settle the car down a little bit, make it a bit more stable, and then spin it back to the original setting for what was left of the lap. But that does require a fair bit of brain bandwidth that I, for one, certainly don't have most of the time. Yeah, well, that is it. Thanks all very much for watching. I appreciate that your time is valuable, and that you choose to spend that time with me really does mean an awful lot. I'm going for a subscriber goal at the moment, 300 subscribers by the end of June, so if you can help me achieve that, that would be brilliant. Tell your friends, family, your dog, tell everybody how awesome I am. Yeah. And then if there's anything that you need to say to me, do please leave a comment in the video in the video description. Leave a comment in the comments section. Yeah, I'm going to leave it in the video description. And I promise I'll get back to you. Might take me a day or two, but I will get back to you. And then, finally, if you're not already a member of the iRacing service and you're watching this, feel like giving it a go, please consider using my referral link in the video description, and that'll help me out loads. So, brilliant. Thanks very much. Whatever it is you choose to do with the rest of your day, have a cracking one, and I will hopefully see you next time. Cheers now.